It is 6 p.m. We are meant to be leaving in 12 hours and we do not have a working water maker. We've been in the ocean marina for a week and a half working on this water maker and still not working. So there is a last ditch attempt to fix one final part. We've also got a couple of guys on the boat who have come to finish off some work, some fabric work, canopies and some shade awnings. Let's go back a few days to when we first got back to Ocean Marina in Pattaya here. And today's episode is going to be all about our preparation for our 500-mile offshore passage to Malaysia.
I have just flown back from Ho Chi Minh City. And if you thought Ho Chi Minh City was hot, this is nuts, right? It's crazy warm. We've got to do a big bloody offshore passage. We've got to do just over 500 miles.
Yep.
We realised that all the things that we're like, oh, we need to get this, we don't have. So Phil Harper managed to put us onto someone who could get us an EPIRB.
Yeah, so we needed an EPIRB. We didn't have one of those.
Don't have SATCOMs while we're offshore. We have our little yellow brick, but it's playing silly buggers at the moment. So I'm trying very hard to get that to work. And then our ice machine's packed up, nothing to do with us. Yeah, thanks, just exactly what you need when a heat wave's about to hit, is the ice machine packing up. So,
The most important thing.
Your beautiful face?
Our davits.
Oh yeah, we have new davits. We had some beautiful carbon fibre davits before, and as if you remember, our davits just were non-functioning. Well, they were functioning, but it was a little bit like, yeah.
From fruit, let's say.
So yeah, we've got new davits, which we will show you. And the new davits they look beautiful. They are powder coated white. Totally different system. There was a single line system that was put together which just wasn't really functioning that well. And now we have, like, yeah, they're actually pretty nice, aren't they?
They're lovely, yeah.
Anyway, so we're now heading to the marina. Ah, shite, put the bin back. And we're going to pick up our EPIRB. We're leaving Monday, just going to head down the coast, then do 500 miles offshore, head to Malaysia, down through Malaysia, through to Singapore, wallop.
Singapore Strait.
So the Singapore Strait, the busiest shipping strait in the frigging world.
Yeah.
Then from Singapore, we are heading where, love?
Up to kind of Malaysia again, but cruise the Thai islands up to Phuket. Now, once we're in Phuket, we are putting that boat right there on a massive ship.
The boat is going to Europe.
I'm Terysa, this is Nick, and this is Ruby Rose 2, our floating home. Join us as we settle into life on board our brand new catamaran, documenting our adventures and never shying away from the reality of boat life. Subscribe to our channel and leave a comment because we love to hear from you, and a big thanks to our community of patrons.
My wife.
Hello, thank you so much.
So that gentleman, literally, Nick called him yesterday. He's just driven down to Bangkok, which is about at least an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, depending where you're coming from, just to deliver us the EPIRB. And we haven't even paid for it. He has not even given us his bank details yet. That's what they're doing right now. So he's like, oh, I trust you. I'm sure that you'll transfer the money. One thing I love about this marina is that there are loads of very, very, very keen golf cart drivers. I could literally see you walking like 2 steps and they come like squealing over.
Squealing?
They squeal over. And they're like, let me give you a ride.
In our preparation of safety equipment for our big offshore passage, we have an EPIRB. I need to read the instructions on this very, very carefully. An EPIRB is an emergency positioning beacon. It's essentially a little floating device that kind of like transmits an emergency position on its own for 48 hours. Now, this one is a float-free version, and the way that they work is if you are incapacitated, the boat sinks, and you are unable to launch it, it will launch itself, it will set itself off. So this is an automatic launching one. Essentially, it is a safety device that if we are out of radio range and we get into a problem that we are unable to manage ourselves and we need help, this is what that is. Now, we are not sailing like crazy remotely, and there will normally be a fishing vessel or something on channel 16 that will pick up a warning. But I think when you are sailing offshore, I don't think you can have too many safety kind of like devices. And an EPIRB it is part of SOLAS requirement, the safety advice at sea, to make sure that, you know, it's all fair and well having flares and it's all fair and well having this, that and the other, but you want everything that you've got. And this is something that we've always sailed offshore with an EPIRB. We also have PLBs, we have transponders for our life jackets, we have a lot of things, but this needs to be done. Manual activation. Pull this up, turn that on. It's meant to be monkey proof, right?
Yeah, so you pull this out,
pull this tab out
and then
turn that across.
on. Yeah.
There's obviously another facility to test it, and this also has hydrostatic release. So, what is it, Friday afternoon? So we're leaving, what, Monday?
We're hoping to Monday.
Monday or Tuesday, I think. Yeah, it'll be Tuesday morning, I think. We need to make sure our water maker works, and I want to check the water tank, so I'm going to go in and check the water tank. I also think we've got a Malaysian courtesy flag somewhere in a box, and that's worth checking. Okay, let's go and have a look.
What's all this?
Well, Seawind have sent the last batch of the davits, so that needs to be bought into, that's been bought on the last ship. We've got 4 jerry cans because we probably want to carry some reserve fuel. We've got a brand new set of davits, more about those later. For those of you who want to know, it is 37 degrees Celsius here today. It is insanely hot.
It's so hard to do anything outside. Look at the days where we had a really small boat.
We had a what?
A really small boat.
Yeah, those happy days of less complicated.
Simpler time. You want to tell everyone what's going on?
Yeah, our water tanks are full of so much shit. There's so much crap and dirt, sediment, gel coat, pubes. So the only thing I can do now is go and get the fresh water out and try and just stir up the entire layer of sediment that is at the bottom, and then go and continually just try and, the water tanks are going to just keep cleaning the strainers out. Yeah? So I need to go and see the strainer. We need to keep cleaning it out until we can get water that doesn't smell like fucking pond water and doesn't come out full of gel coat. So that's really easily accessible now.
What is it?
The inline strainer.
Okay.
Turn the bathroom tap on as well.
Yeah. You can't smell that, but it literally smells like mold. And the last couple of days where I've just tried to have some water out of our filter tap, it just tasted so funky, and I'm like, didn't drink it. But we've been making coffee and cups of tea with that water. That's gross.
It's black.
We've been drinking that water for days.
No, we've got a filter.
Okay, but still.
Well, it's a couple of things. There's algal growth in it, which is just caused from the fact that there's been standing water for a few months without us being there, so there's algae in there. It smells horrible.
Yeah.
I have actually seen cleaner fish tanks.
Is that partly our fault for not putting...
The tank should have been drained down before we left it.
Yeah.
But actually the problem, like, organic matter will pass through the filters pretty effectively, or be trapped by the filters. The problem is there is so much shit in the tank. There's so many fiberglass particles, gel coat residue, that it's just blocking everything. And, you know,
we've had this.
Yeah. So it gets through the filters and it accumulates in the solenoid valves all around the boat. And so we lost our freshwater toilet, the water maker, you know, flushes, the ice machine. Coincidentally packed up the same sort of time. We've lost a lot of our equipment and we basically need to get it back and running. So I've opened the inspection hatch, which there is just a whole heap of debris that I can see floating around. We have acquired a two-stage water, fresh water cleaning system. So this stuff, the Thetford stuff, which is kind of environmentally as friendly as you're going to get because we're in a marina. So we need to just run that through while the water tank is filling, and you turn the water pump off. I need to go and check the strainer.
Okay.
To see what's in that strainer.
All right.
Well, as you can see, what was in that strainer was actually a whole lot of algae, and the algae is completely our issue, and it's our fault because we didn't drain the tanks down, and in the kind of like tropical weather we bred some algae in our tanks. So we've got a strainer that's full of algae. We bought a proprietary cleaning product from the Chandler that is environmentally friendly to clean everything out, but unfortunately cleaning those tanks out was something which took weeks and weeks to do, and not because of the algae, actually because of residue, of gel coat residue that was left in the tank. We actually found a much better way of cleaning all this out, but that is in a future episode. But in the meantime, it's time for me to go and check out something that I love doing, which is a hardware store in a new country.
What is your favourite hardware store?
Oh God!
Of all the places we've been to, which is your favourite hardware store? Because
I'm Australian. That's like there's only one possible answer.
Okay, what do you get?
Bunnings, obviously.
I have to buy some mounts for the EPO, and then I needed to put a safety line on Manel. Super good. Duct tape. Oh, it's duct tape. It is actually duct tape. No, I want duct tape on board. I like duct tape. And stick stuff together with duct tape.
The random things you need on a boat.
We've had a couple of incidents
Today.
where we've picked up a mooring line. It's just been completely covered in barnacles, so we thought, well, maybe just some gloves, some gardening gloves, because we don't. Do we have diving gloves? We've lost our diving gloves.
Yeah, they've got a full-on range of gloves around here, don't they?
I've managed to lose Nick. So while Nick is trying to find some spare water filters, because we don't really have that many, and the water around here is pretty dirty, so the water filters get dirty really quickly. So we're having to change the water filters quite often. Anyway, while he's doing that, I am on my phone and I'm contacting the agent, or an agent, for clearance into Malaysia. And I just got a message back saying that we need to send him some copies of boat registration, our passports and insurance. Hello. Oh, they don't have them. Bugger. And that kind of gives you a bit of an idea of how the kind of load is divided between us. Nick gets on with the practical elements and I get on with the bureaucracy. Nick has just bought something very exciting. Oh, this makes me so happy.
Me as well.
So Nick and I have decided that this table is going to be our chart table. Is going to be where we're displaying the paper chart of whatever cruising ground it is that we're in, and that serves obviously a practical purpose, but also it's just really nice to see, you know, I don't know, just from a decorative point of view, I just love it.
I'm just swapping out all the zip ties for Monel wire. It's just not good to have zip ties holding like shackles together.
And can you explain why that is?
Because they degrade. Doesn't matter what they say, they don't degrade. They degrade and they get brittle and they look intact, but they're not. Yeah. And then they break, yeah. And then you lose your shackle.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today we are going out of the marina temporarily, just to check that the water maker works. We also want to get the sails up and make sure that everything's okay there. Just basically do a quick little test run to make sure that the boat is happy, because we are leaving very soon on a 500-mile passage and we want to make sure that everything is working as it should. We also need to get some fuel from the fuel dock right behind me here, so we figured if we have to get off the dock, then we might as well just go out of the marina and just check that everything is working as it should. Okay, bow off. Well, in a turn of events that I don't think is going to surprise anyone, our water maker's not working. That's exactly the reason why we came out here, because Nick had a premonition that there'd be a problem with it. And there is.
Someone's just put this around there to try and hold this all together.
Right.
It's a fucking pressurised system.
That was definitely the problem?
No, it wasn't the problem.
Ah.
This sort of failed at one point anyway.
Oh, okay. Right, so that wasn't actually the problem with the water maker.
Yeah. That is a massive bodge.
Can I just confirm,
that issue with the O-ring that's made out of Sikaflex, or just
it's
the
a bandage.
a bandage?
Someone's tried to bandage.
Got you.
A pressurized threaded nylon joint. So basically, primary strainer, seacock, right? Seawater comes into a primary strainer.
Yep.
It then goes onto a secondary strainer, which is attached to a pump, and that pump just draws everything through. That pump has the strainer, but at the top, the water comes into the strainer and it goes up through and then to the filters.
Yeah.
There is a nylon nut or a plastic nut that goes through the top of the strainer, which is fastened top and bottom with like little threaded locking nuts.
Yeah.
So it's like a thread, and it's sheared. And it's sheared at some point historically, because I've never seen that before. I've never taken that apart before. And whoever put it in and broke it, rather than think, oh, it's a pressurized part, what I'll do is I'll just I'll put some Sikaflex around there and she'll be all right. And I know that the Sikaflex was put around there because when I look in the inside of the Sikaflex, you can see the threads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but was that the problem today?
No.
So what was the problem today?
I don't know what the problem is.
Okay.
I think it's an airlock. Now, because Phil said, look at the secondary strainer.
Yeah.
And as soon as I touched the secondary strainer, that exploded.
Okay. That was the bit that I was
Yeah.
missing.
So the problem today was that we couldn't flush the system.
Yeah.
Right? There's air in the system. And now we have a broken system. So the system that wasn't broken now is broken.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave a still image of this here because actually it's kind of difficult for me to explain. Essentially, this, from what I can see, is just a domestic fitting. You can see that the actual thread is discoloured orange where it's actually broken down because it wasn't meant to be immersed in salt water. And on my thumb, there is the bandage which was used to kind of try to keep these two parts together. It is honestly, and I love my father dearly, but he is a bodger. I've never seen a worse engineering bodge. It is frustrating in the extreme. But here we are, and now we've got to try and fix this.
I have bits. Two brass garden hose adapters, which I propose to rip the O-rings out of, or Jubilee clips, big O-rings, which I will cut down and super glue to make small O-rings, some nylon hose parts, glue gun sticks, some nylon adapters that are threaded at one end and barbed at the other, and more PTFE tape. No, you little. Oh, nice try, fabric. Fail. Still pissing water at the bottom. I can't seal it.
Okay. Let's do some passage planning. Literally all hands on deck today. So we are here.
We'll get to there.
No, we need to get to here.
Or we will definitely have a thing we need to leave, which is the bloody davits by the end of today.
The other thing that's packed up is the ice machine.
The ice machine just doesn't work.
Here for over a week. Really want to get going now.
One problem caused another problem caused a third problem.
Still not working. We've run out of time. We have to go.